Yo, what's going on, people, and welcome back to Man Knows Football. You're here with Guni. It's been a minute since I've been on the camera, but I've been taking care of things from behind the scenes. If you've been following our social medias and that, we announced a new partnership with the Football Factory, Midtown Legends Bar, downstairs, the official home of football for New York City. The only bar in New York City that is dedicated to just football. That is the new home. That is the new partnership with Man Knows Football, so you're going to be seeing a lot more of us there. So, for those of you that actually are in New York City, if you do have an opinion, if you want to come down to the bar, have a drink, watch your team play, and you've got an opinion, find us there. You're more than welcome to come and have an interview with us. Shout out Jack, the owner of the Football Factory. He's actually a lifetime Manchester United fan. Jack actually has a 99 treble winning shirt framed at the bar. Yeah, it's just a shirt, so what, from 99, cool. I'm a little impressed. But here's the kicker though.
I was at the game, he was top scorer that season.
No way you was at that treble winning game.
Well, I was there, that's my match ticket, yes indeed. And he was top scorer that season. He didn't score in the final, but he, I think, scored 33 goals in all competitions. United still are the only English team to win the treble.
This is a place that I actually used to go to before I had my son, who was my firstborn. I used to go there, watch Chelsea pretty much every week, get fucking legless with the mandem down there. You know how it goes, fam. Like, it's the same way as it used to happen in England, same way happening down there in the Football Factory, you get me? Man had 1 or 2 pints, singing the songs, you get me? All of that, all of that. That was how I used to go down at the Football Factory. So I went over to Jack, I was like, boom, man's got a YouTube channel, in it, like, talking about football. Every single fan is welcome. Jack was like, yeah, bro, I'm with it. I am here to talk about the Champions League draw today. I'm going to start with my favourite team, Chelsea, who are in fantastic form, have drawn Porto. The first leg is going to be away. Not that it really makes a difference. I don't know if there's going to be any fans at the Porto Stadium or not. Either way, I'm quite confident about this game. Porto, they're not to be taken lightly. We've got to show them a bit of respect, to be honest with you, because you can't be mugs to get to this point of the season. Oliveira, really their main goal threat. Got to be careful of him. Fantastic free kick, I believe, that he scored against Juventus. He had a really good game, so he'll be their main threat. But really, aside from that, I don't really see anyone else. Tarami, he's suspended. That's going to be a big miss for Porto still. He's a decent player, the big Iranian forward. Is going to be a miss for Porto, so in the first leg. He will be available for the second. So I think if we take advantage of that, Chelsea get a 2-0 win away at Porto, I reckon it's going to be smooth sailing for Chelsea, because our defensive record has been fantastic. We haven't conceded a goal in 6 games. You get me? Defensively, we're just on point, but we're not really that fluid compared to the other teams that are left in the tournament. I think for Porto, looking at the teams that they could have drawn, I think Porto were happy with drawing us. That's not to say that we're mugs, but it's just going back to what I was saying, like, compared to the other teams, they're a lot more fluid. They score at a higher rate than we do. Not saying that we don't score goals, but we're not getting the 3-0s, the 4-0s. Dortmund can do that to them. PSG can do that to them. Bayern can do that to them. Man City can do that to them. Real Madrid, Liverpool, do you know what I'm saying? All of them teams can do that to Porto. Chelsea are the one that look the least likely. So I think they're happy on that side. That's not to say that they're going to go through. Porto are going to be very tough. They defended very well against Juventus. Juve did have their chances. They didn't take their chances, but nonetheless, fantastic defensive display from Porto. Pepe was fantastic. Amazing, world-class defensive performance, in my opinion. If you're a young centre-back or defender coming up, trying to play the game, watch that game and watch Pepe, how he commanded that defence and just how he performed. Marshalled that defence fantastically, a real leader in that defence. A lot of that was down to his performance as to why Porto have gone through. Credit goes to Oliveira and 1 or 2 others, but I really do think Pepe was the star man of that game. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments. If you don't agree with me, then also let me know in the comments. Chelsea looking very strong, unbeaten in how many games? It might be, I don't know, 16 or something games. It's been unbeaten, but nonetheless, we're on an impressive run of form. I do know we haven't conceded a goal in 6 games. That is also a fantastic record to be proud of. Tuchel really seems to know what he's doing with this squad. Attacking wise, we're looking good. I believe that Kai Havertz is getting his confidence back again. Timo Werner is getting his confidence back again. They're not obviously hit their top prime. I'm not going to judge that until next season season once they've had a full pre-season with Tuchel. You can see that their confidence is starting to come up to a level where they're starting to perform. It's coming in at a good time. Can they take advantage of that against Porto? I believe so. Who's going to start up front? Is it going to be Oli Giroud, Tammy Abraham? What tactics is Tuchel going to go with? Is it going to go with the back five that we've been seeing? Is it going to go with the back four? Who knows? I do think he's going to go with the back three because, let's face it, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mason Mount will be available for that game, which is a massive boost. He's been a fantastic performer for Chelsea so far. It will be a massive plus to our squad. N'Golo Kante's been on fire. He was fantastic both legs against Atletico Madrid. We took care of them. 3-0, we disposed of Atletico Madrid, and they're top of La Liga. So yeah, I think that Chelsea are going to go through. I think they'll go through narrowly because, like I said, Porto are good defensively in it. 2-1 Chelsea. No, I'm not even going to say 2-1 Chelsea. I'm going to say 2-0 Chelsea over both legs. Borussia Dortmund versus Manchester City. This should be a very good game. I'm going to start off with Manchester City. Obviously in fantastic form, riding high in the Premier League. They currently look unstoppable. They did lose against Manchester United, but they were at a point where they didn't even need to win the game. Obviously, this is a European competition over 2 legs, completely different to the Prem, but my criticism of Man City has been them defensively. Since Ruben Dias has came in, he's shored up that defense. They look a lot better. They haven't looked this good since Company was around. So do Dortmund have enough in their front attack to penetrate that defense and get a couple goals? Certainly. Erling Haaland, that Chelsea is trying to chase, as well as Manchester City. Jadon Sancho, who should be back for the game. I believe he was injured. Should be an interesting one, but Manchester City have been on good form. They're not really leaking goals and they're scoring plenty of them. Their midfield is fantastic. Gundogan has been in fantastic form. Even when Kevin De Bruyne was injured, he stepped up and he was really the talisman for the team, pitching in a lot of goals, man. I wasn't too surprised by that. Gundogan's always been a quality player. He's just been unlucky with injuries and tactics with previous managers, but Guardiola is really starting to trust him and the trust is paying off. Kevin De Bruyne decides to turn up on that day. It's peak for everybody. It's just long for everyone, and I think Man City are going to have way too much. Sergio Aguero, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Riyad Mahrez, just an embarrassment of riches. I think that would be way too much for Borussia Dortmund. They're actually 5th in Bundesliga, you know. What kind of foolishness, fam? How are you 5th in the Bundesliga, cuz? And you got man like Haaland and Jadon Sancho and Royce. I swear I seen Royce put a shirt on this season, fam. You got them 3 man there and you're 5th, fam. Currently, as we're speaking, they're 2 points off Frankfurt. I think Dortmund are also going to have one eye on the league, so they actually make it to the Champions League next season. Defensively, they just look shot to pieces this season. They haven't really been with it. Hummels, been a quality defender in his time. Well, in my opinion, I thought he was a very good defender. He's getting old. He's getting on a bit. His experience is still there. He's still a good centre-back. Is he as good as he once was? To be fair, I don't watch enough Bundesliga to know if he has improved or whether he has dropped. But defensively, I think they look a bit shaky, so Dortmund's best chance this game is hoping that they outscore Man City. Man City are a team that could put 5, 6 or 7 against them on the day, and Dortmund are the kind of team to concede them kind of goals. I reckon Man City are going to go through. I reckon over the 2 legs, Dortmund are going to get piped to get me. I'm going to say like 5-2 on aggregate. I think Dortmund will get goals because they got some hitmen there. They got the main hitman, Erling Haaland. Jadon Sancho definitely also a goal threat. Mahmoud Dahoud also a very good player. So Dortmund do have their threats, you know, but is it enough to put away Man City? I don't think so. So Man City for me to go through. The next one is a replica of last year's Champions League final. Bayern versus PSG. I'm going to go back and talk about that game, that final. PSG, they didn't even play that badly. They just didn't take their chances. Neymar bottled it. Mbappe bottled it. Do you know what I'm saying? If they took their chances, they probably would have been European champions. Bayern weren't great on the day, but they did enough to get through. 1-0 win, champions of Europe. Best team in the world undoubtedly last season, so we can't complain. They appear to be again this season. PSG, they were fantastic against Barcelona in the first leg. They tore them to shreds. They should have probably beaten by more, if we're being honest. The second leg, they were quite poor. If they show up like they did in the second leg against Bayern Munich, in any one of those 2 legs, it's going to be long for them. Bayern is another team that might smash you for 6s and 7s for fun in 1 leg. PSG have got to be mindful of that. Even them, their home form in Ligue 1, as we're speaking, I believe that they are 2 points off the top and Lille at the top of the table. That's quite unfamiliar territory for PSG at this stage of the season. I swear we're coming to April and that, and you're still not top of the table. Boy, when Tuchel was there, like the thing was wrapped up by like early March and February, them times there. Like, these guys were thinking about where they was taking their families on going on holiday. Football was just a joke thing to them at this point. Like, training sessions until the end of the season, yeah, give me the trophy. But all now, the second, boy, Pochettino, man come from Spurs, that's a bottle job team, blood, the originals, fam. What do you expect? Bottle job results. If Lille win the league this year, that is peak, fam. Neymar will be available for this game, which is obviously a massive boost for any team, but Neymar will be available for this game. So Mbappe, very potent front three, but can they turn up on the day and be clinical this time in comparison to what they were in the final? Hopefully they can, because to be honest with you, I would love to see Bayern go out. PSG, boy, can they score goals? Yeah, because listen, here's the thing with Bayern, yeah? They haven't looked as good as they looked last season, but they're still like head and shoulders above the rest, but they're conceding more goals. But that's because Bayern are playing more of a high line now, and they've got to be careful with that against PSG. Mbappe is rapid. Neymar himself, he's quick. PSG have a very dangerous and clinical attack. Bayern control that high line a little bit and sit a bit deeper, then that's their best chance of getting the result. But if they're going to risk the high line, I certainly think they're going to concede goals, and that's dangerous. Bayern, best team in Europe, head and shoulders. They ain't been the best. They ain't been as good as they were last season, but that don't matter. I still think they're still a cut above everybody else. Obviously, Lewandowski's still doing his thing. Oh man, guys just scoring goals upon goals upon goals. Don't matter who it is, he's just scoring goals, man. They got Gnabry, we all know what Gnabry can do. They got Sane, we all know what Sane can do. Koeman, we all know what Koeman can do. Goretzka, Kimmich, Alphonso Davies, what a player he is. They've got so many top players. On the day when they click, there's just no beating them. Like I said, for selfish reasons, I'm a Chelsea fan. I don't really want to have Bayern in the final. Should Chelsea get to the final, PSG just better hope that Bayern don't show up that day, because it could be 6s and 7s. With Bayern, they can do it against anybody. Real Madrid versus Liverpool now. This is the last game out of the quarterfinal bunch. This one, I think, is the most difficult one to call, to be honest with you. Liverpool, like, we all know that they've been shocking. Right now, as I'm currently speaking, they have picked up a few wins, and they do look better than they did a few weeks ago. Whether momentum is building up for Liverpool when they're coming back to their old selves, who knows? It remains to be seen. They are still missing key players. They are without Van Dijk. I believe they are without Gomez. They don't have their first choice back four. Trent has looked very suspect doing defensive work. That could be a bit of a problem against Vinicius, who we all know is a very quick and a very tricky player, and he loves to try and get fullbacks one-on-one to try and beat him. That might be a massive test for Trent. And if it's not Vinicius playing, it might be the other Brazilian young man who I actually think is better than Vinicius, Rodrigo. Rodrigo, again, another problem and could cause Trent a hard time. Benzema, I believe, must be fit for Real Madrid for them to stand a chance. Been there for years. He's getting on in age, but what a player he is. You don't stay at Real Madrid for that long unless you're a serious player, and Benzema has managed to do that. Let's look at the midfield as well. Liverpool, Henderson and Fabinho, massive misses in the midfield because they've had to deputise in the centre-back positions. Sometimes one would be in midfield, the other one would be at centre-back, or sometimes they would both play centre-back. It depends. If those are the two centre-backs that are playing that game, I think that Liverpool are going to be in trouble, because now you're playing against the creme de la creme. These are players that know how to win the Champions League. You get me? It weren't that long ago when them and they were winning back-to-backs. The only thing is that they're getting on in age, but still they've got it up here, they've got it down there at their feet. They're still top players. Can Liverpool win it against Real Madrid? Of course they can. Salah, Mane, Firmino, obviously the infamous front three. If they turn up that night, they're just going to terrorise their defence. Real Madrid certainly don't want to risk playing a high line against them. Couple balls over the top, they're going to be in massive trouble. They haven't been able to pick their first choice midfield. Liverpool is a funny one for them. Like I said, they have been picking up victories recently. They are picking up form. They don't look as bad as they did before, but did they look good enough to beat Real Madrid, who are looking better than they did at the beginning of the season? It remains to be seen. I think Real Madrid are going to go through 2-2 on away goals. Out of Porto versus Chelsea, I picked Chelsea to go through narrowly, and I picked Man City to go through with ease. Real Madrid are going to go through. Bayern Munich are going to go through. Okay guys, thank you very much for joining in, but before you leave, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Help us grow. We are going to continue to make more content for you. We are going to post a lot more regularly. Please give me your predictions down there in the comment. I'd love for you guys to interact. Thank you very much again for tuning in. Peace.